Mic check, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing. Tropism, are you? The music coming through? Hear me and the music? Perfect. The music too loud, or is it ideal? Actually, just I seem quiet. Let me pull the mic in a little bit closer. Is that better? It was a little bit far away, and I was looking away. Welcome back, everyone. I hope you have had an amazing week, I should say. So we're going to have an amazing Dungeon Alchemist map making show. Got some interesting things in store for today's show. I hope y'all are excited. And anyway, we'll talk about it as time progresses. Sorry, I'm a little wiped out. I've been working all morning on a project in the garage and only just wrapped up like moments before stream. Luckily this morning I kind of pre-configured and set everything up. So busy, glad to hear it. Did anyone get any session prep or any games in this week? There was 9 entries in the damn challenge, actually. Yeah, there was a lot. Played last night. Let's hear about it. So, let's go over today's itinerary before we get the stream started. Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that, random lady. So, we've got small news segment today. Immediately following is the Damn Challenge. Afterwards will be our Dungeon Alchemist questions, Q&A segment. So if you have any, support inquiries, have questions about Dungeon Alchemist, that'll probably be in the second half of our show, starting around right around 1-ish is when we'll jump into that. Following that is Assets Showcase, where we'll look at assets on the Steam Workshop that are cool and new and interesting. Lastly is the Feature Showcase, which is the custom object brush, which we'll discuss in more detail later. There's actually another bit of news that I want to share, but we'll share it during the news segment. I wanted it to be a surprise. So, hope y'all are excited. So, a couple things that are on the horizon that you should be aware of with our news segment. And sorry, I don't have any tease for today's news segment, unfortunately. But I do have good news. And I guess I have a physical thing I can share. So, first and foremost, the devs are actively working on object group, meaning you can kind of like lasso a whole group of objects and move them as a group. I'm hoping that also means copying and pasting them and inevitably saving that grouping so you can use it on other maps or maybe share it on the workshop. Don't know if that'll be included in this iteration or not, but letting you know. So that's something that they're currently working on. I discussed that with Carl a little bit the other day. Next, in relation to that, once that is finished, a build to be put up, a dev build that I will be able to use on the stream. I've already been authorized by Wim and Carl to begin using it once it's available. And that will include, me being able to showcase object rotation and object grouping more than. So we're getting closer and closer to a release, but I wouldn't say we're anywhere near like a reveal stream or even like anything like a date. But at least we're getting to the point where I can start showcasing stuff and making teasers. That from. Okay. So following that up, I have another bit of interesting that I did not put in the itinerary, and I saved it because I wanted it to be a surprise. I now have. And thing is, this isn't the surprise. Surprise is we're actually going to be giving another one of these bad boys away. So, there is another Hendrick giveaway. I'm announcing it today. It will be Saturday on the stream. So, if you are interested in a chance to win a Hendrick doll, we ship worldwide. Please, stay tuned, and try to attend next week because you need to be there for the drawing. So basically, next Saturday during the stream, we'll have a point during the stream where everyone present can enter, and it'll be about 10 to 15 minutes allowing people to enter. And then we will do a spin the wheel, which will pick the winner at random. So basically, it's all at random, and only those that are present at the stream have a chance to participate. So make sure you have next Saturday free. And keep in mind, this isn't wheels. Spin the wheel. Yeah, it's like a giveaway thing that you can do that every name is on it and it spins. Anyway, but it's for a chance to win a Hendrick plushie, who, if you're not aware, is our beloved mascot. It will work for sure this time. I've already fixed it. I've tested it like twice. It worked. And it did work last time on my end. It just didn't broadcast it. So I don't know why it did that. But it is all fixed now. I have confirmed it. I had a bonus stream where I tested it, and I also tested it offline. So, anyway, our devs have commissioned a few extra Hendricks in the hopes that they will find their way into the homes of our community members. We're going to be doing giveaways here and there going forward. There'll likely be one hosted in our Discord at some point, so not everyone, so they're not just stream based, but we're doing a couple on the stream. Right? How you doing, Swedish Cook? Ondu, welcome back. DM Crusader, hope you're well. Random Ladybirds, always glad to have you. Chim, hope you all is doing well. Honestly, I'm really excited to showcase the maps for the... So, the news is upcoming, they're working on object grouping, upcoming teasers and on stream and off stream, including object rotation and object grouping. I should get access to soon. And then lastly is the Hendrick plush giveaway. I'm wonderful. The Hendrick experience. Honestly, I'm glad you're here. Glad you are here. Hey, I want to ask y'all if you hear something really quick, okay? Did you just hear that punch noise? Okay, so I got this new Stream Deck. It was gifted to me, and I've decided I'm going to have a Stream Deck on both computers, so one can be dedicated to the stream itself. Usually I just use it as like a shortcut to like set up my stream and go to certain websites, open certain tools, edit video. But I'm going to be adding some incorporated elements into the streams soon. I just was kind of experimenting and seeing what it could do. But some other things this thing has, like these little twist like dials, and I could tie them to like time zones, and there's a screen on it. So if I twist it, it like shows a different time zone. I can adjust like music volume, mic volume. In fact, I'm noticing my mic volume is really quiet right now. Is that better? Because it was way down. Anyway. But I can see that at a glance, which is great. And pause the music. Maybe. Maybe not. I got to figure that out still. But anyway, you get the idea. So I hope everyone is excited for the the upcoming, streams and reveals and teasers. But anyway, let's move on to the damn challenge segment, right? I'm sure that's what most people want to see. Right. So, I gotta say, congratulations to Anani. This map was quite impressive. And there were some really, really good heavy contenders for the winning map. It took me a few hours to decide. But I honestly was just really impressed with the overall like layout of this thing. And who doesn't love a sky train? Yeah, you've missed a few, my friend. So I love that all the train rooms were like actual like rooms, just really cleverly shaped and whatnot to make all the train cars. Aside from like, a few little areas that are just kind of kit bash to make it more real looking. But yeah, I find this map quite impressive. I don't know, when I first saw it and opened it, I was just like, I gasped audibly. As you can see, it's quite extensive. I like the front of the train. But hey, Heisenberg Nguyen, thank you so much for the subscribe on YouTube. Much appreciated. Welcome. Is the train going 88 miles per hour? It's called Concordant Express, which I'm assuming may be leaning on Polar Express a little bit as well. The ground in the background, like the mountain, looks good too. I really enjoy the map at a specific angle. Kind of fun when you get about here. Likely an object from the workshop, or a combination of them, I'd imagine. It's got like a gear, and then it looks like an abstract image that looks like the sparks and fire. And then definitely some abstract lighting to make them super bright. Isn't it great, Morgana? How are you doing? By the way, welcome to the stream. I noticed you followed a few days ago. Thank you for that. But I'm just going to say hello because it's your first time in chat. If you have any questions related to Dungeon Alchemist, feel free to drop them. I tend to answer questions quickly during any segment, but we do have a segment dedicated to Q&A later in the stream for anyone who's curious or as support inquiries or anything like that. Hey, Bane, welcome back. Hey, Blue Mage. What up, man? But each of these train cars actually has decor as well, which I like. So let's check that out. I'm gonna peel it back a little bit. This one's the water room. Oh man, it's so bright right now. Abstracts, too many. Abstracts are too powerful. But it's a Modron train. Isn't that pretty cool? Yeah. That's a good question. Anani, I don't know if Anani's here right now. We could ask them if they were present. Here, let me try messaging. Honestly, I don't know if he's like he's in Dungeon Alchemist right now. He might be asleep and just left it on. I don't know if he's online or not. I would love him to join the stream. Ah, he's playing D&D. Yep, it's every other Saturday. He tends to miss the damn challenge. Like some people are battling here in the church. Got a Terminator arm over here, because why not? Yeah, he is. But I think he's going to drop in for a moment. Because I messaged him. There's a question about your map. How long did it take to make? Anani, congratulations, by the way. Are they just feeding it money? They're literally burning money. They burn 100 GP per minute? Jeez. 100 GP every 10 rounds? Isn't like gold's an element though. Like it could be melted and it can even be like changed chemically and like stored as a liquid, sort of, or dissolved into like a liquid mixture. Aqua Regia. Nice. 8 hours, not bad. So you did this on stream? Nice. Probably good I missed those streams then, because like honestly, I don't like to build a bias for maps, but this thing is dope. You did a good job. Really well done. I love all the train cars. Oh, happened to get you on a break? That's perfect. The roofing is well done as well. Also. Hey, Namaste on Facebook. Thank you for the like. Much appreciated. There's a little village down here. Let's go scope it out. Let's see what they're up to. Not much, apparently. You think they have a gripe with a train flying over their village several times a day? Hey, we're getting raided. Nice. Would-be heroes, thank you for the raid. Much appreciated. Welcome, raiders. Let's give a warm welcome to our raiders. And yes, congratulations, Anani, on such an amazingly beautiful map and a powerful win. It's a lovely build. I actually really like it at night. Yep, the eye at the front is a dead giveaway for sure. Get it just right, you can. Yeah, they don't own the sky rights, right? I can't believe there's sky rights in a fantasy realm. Would Be Heroes, what were you streaming today? We're showcasing maps from our bi-weekly map making contest called the Dam Challenge. Aptly named because when you save a map in Dungeon Alchemist, it's saved as a .dam file, which is our proprietary file format. This map here is the winning map. The theme was Railway, and it's a beautiful contender. Quite an amazing map. Just wanted to give you a little heads up what's going on. But Raiders would love to get to know you, would love to get to know the streamer. Let us know what you guys were doing today, how the stream went. Definitely don't want to detract from your win, Anani. This thing is dope. You did a good job, my friend. Wonderful. Wait, does it actually feed the tracks ahead of itself? Or is there a track it just floating that it goes through a portal? Interesting. Cool. Very cool. Well, Anani, have fun with your session. Glad you're able to drop in and, say hello. Congrats again, my friend. I'll reach out to you between now and Monday sometime to send you your prize. Night Wanderer, thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. Welcome to the stream. This is a great example of how you can use the room tool in tandem with objects to make stunning multi-level, train cars. We've also seen a similar kind of thing to this with Hieronymo's wagon. Is like a wagon train. But yeah, this is a beautiful build, Anani. Congratulations again on your win. Kind of does feel like a city on rails, right? Like this is like the Snowpiercer train. So, initial thoughts, everyone. What's your thoughts on this map? Do you think you could use it in your own campaigns? And what are your thoughts on the look and aesthetic and like the designs for each room? Or each train car, I should say. I like that there's a prison car. This cat in there is unsettling. That's a danger, Mau Mau. You want to give this train a stat block now? This fire is like what is it called? The blaster or a blast furnace. So I'd imagine it's super hot, like jet heated air. Magically speaking, it probably is somewhere between fire and radiant damage. Force is possible. Force is cool too because it propels it. But I just thought this was like exhaust, not necessarily like the Batmobile. Like it's more like the train's pushed by this, the wheels moving, which are like gears and other stuff. Yeah, the abstracts look pretty cool. Did anyone watch the battle I had with more D&D the other day, or the VOD of it? Wednesday, I was a guest on a stream called the Midweek Monster Mash. There's a streamer he's on Twitch and YouTube and TikTok. That's where I met him, was TikTok. And he uses Dungeon Alchemist maps and hosts these battles against other creators and people in the sphere. Yeah, you were there, Morgana. That's right. Honestly, it was hilarious. I had a lot of fun, and I absolutely wiped the floor. I honestly was doing really good, and then it just absolutely became chaos because Asmodeus came in, and Asmodeus was like just getting tons, and so viewers could influence the chaos by giving us advantage or extra actions, or summon like epic or legendary creatures to the battlefield that we can control. Yeah, no worries. There is VODs of it, Atlam, that you could check out. Unfortunately, I didn't have much control over the start time, but it was a lot of fun. It lasted a couple of hours, and like 2.5 hours, and it was an absolute wipe. I didn't lose a single character. I beat him 48-0. That's not 48 kills. There's like a point system, but I killed I took down like 6 or 7 of his guys, a bunch of them. Like 5 of his guys. All that was left was like his legendary summons and like one other dude. Yeah, I had a good strategy that just basically made me really hard to take down or like touch. I had characters that could fly, characters that could teleport, characters that could dig underground. So I had like a graboid type worm, and in the first round, I took out one of his guys. It was an absolute slaughter. It was so funny. I had a lot of fun, but yeah, Asmodeus added a lot of chaos to the game. Let's just Asmodeus as being Asmodeus, of course. I actually made a character based on Hendrik, who is it's based on the stat block Bell. But we used Hendrik's image on it, and it was really cool because I could cast Fireball at will and through legendary actions, and I was owning with that character. Yeah, taking out the bridge was a solid move. Also teleporting, my favorite move of the night. Like, damage is going to happen. You're going to hurt people. Like, you're going to battle each other and hurt each other, right? Or hurt each other's characters. So that's inevitable. But my favorite move of the night was taking away his only chance to get a kill. Well, 2 of them. So he had a guy that basically was like a monster hunter on my character, kind of like a Witcher. And I had a guy like that, and he had a huge legendary like Colossus. It was the Colossus, I think is what it was called. So it was like a legendary construct, and it was summoned into the battle, and he zeroed in on my human monster hunter and was just hit him like 8 times in a row, and he survived. Surprisingly, he had like 18 HP left. And I had a character called an Alchemist who had enough distance that it could get to them both, get to the guy. I attacked the construct, got a hit, and missed the other. And then he had it basically a multi-attack where you could do 2 attacks and use a spell. And the Alchemist had the ability to cast Dimension Door at will. So I cast Dimension Door and grabbed my teammate and teleported him to the other side of the map where he got to hide out. Basically, he didn't get hurt again and didn't die. You only got points when you kill a person, when you down them completely. So I had another character that was a summons. I summoned an earth elemental that was covering a land bridge. He took out the land bridge because there was no one nearby, and he got hit a few times. And instead, I just stopped concentrating on it, which means he didn't get the points if he got the kill. And then it was great. I was kind of brutal. Basically, anytime he got a guy close to being dead, they would either disappear to the other side of the map, or like I'd kill the guy that was killing them. It was a lot of fun. And the viewers were all great. We had people from our community there, a lot of people from Moore's community. And I think a lot of his viewers like watching him suffer a little bit because I had advantage the whole game. I think I didn't, maybe 2 rolls the whole game did I not roll that were without advantage. The whole time I was rolling with advantage. It was mayhem for sure. Anyway, great map here. Moving on from that, let's open up the next map. We'll just go in order, top to bottom, left to right, top to bottom. So this one was from Random Ladybird. Absolutely adorable map. I love the little wooden car railway. I remember having these, like the train and car railways as a kid. They just hooked together with like little puzzle pieces. Yeah, no, I know. It's just teasing him, but it was hilarious. Oh man, he had all those actions built up, and when he attacked me, it was scary. He was like, well, I'm gonna use all these actions on one guy, and he used it on his Colossus. So he like hit me a bunch of times. I'm like, ah! Terrifying when he critted me early on too. Well, all terrifying, but I survived. That's my takeaway from that is I was undefeated, took out a guy in the first round, fastest kill ever, and also unscathed, no deaths. Perfect score. So many ladybugs. I was looking, I'm not sure if I found them all, but there's like 1, 2, 3, 4 right there, 5. Just in this like corner. Got some snails too. There's 6. 7, one hiding over there. 8. 9. 10. I might have missed that one in the pottery earlier. Going inside, there's another 11. Huh. Well, I found at least 11. Oh, there's another 12. Hiding behind that. I don't think I saw that one on the leaf there. 13. Huh. There's a lot of them. You hit them good. Is there any in that little area there? But let's take a look at the railway, which is obviously the centerpiece of the build. Do I have any videos on... Ooh, there's another one right there. See it underneath there. On coastal terrain. And there's another one hiding under there. Nope, there's not. Videos on coastal terrain. So one thing I will tell you... Oh, there's one back there. I can see him hiding. So there's the other 2. Dungeon Alchemist has an update planned in the near future. Not our next update, but the one immediately following that is called The High Seas. And that one's going to be focused around... ships, islands, coastal, also potentially like airships and astral ships. These things haven't been focused on yet a whole lot in Dungeon Alchemist, and as a result of which there's not a ton of offerings in that regard. But we do have several biomes that are conducive to like an island or a shore. Typically, if you use the jungle biome or the grasslands biome, they both offer sand, which is great for a shoreline. You don't really have to use the plant life in the grasslands biome if it's not conducive. Often, though, it can be, depending on the shoreline where it's located, right? From some shorelines, there's massive trees visibles. Others, it's jungle, canopy, right? So the jungle canopy is great for like an island or like a tropical beach type situation, whereas your grasslands biome is more ideal for like a forest beach type situation, or maybe even leading into a swampy kind of shoreline, marsh, etc. But there are plenty of maps on the workshop. If under the Steam Workshop tab, if you click Browse Maps, you can find, beaches galore, shorelines, islands. There was one just recently that released that was rather popular. This one here, the Lighthouse and Pirate Cave. I encourage you to download this map. Take a look at it. The creator used a combination of objects from the workshop, placing lots of rocks to get this like craggy, rocky shoreline. And then additionally, they set up these little kind of breakwaters using objects that are their assets shared on our workshop that look kind of like breakwater images, using objects called abstracts, which are in the object panel. And then you see this waterfall here. This map is beautiful, though. Do you have the ability to download maps on the Steam Workshop, Morgana, or you own a copy of Dungeon Alchemist, I'm assuming? Now, looking at this map, again, yes, each segment here is kind of its own piece. That means she kind of put them all together and, one at a time, which is great. Lots of details here. These are available on the Steam Workshop. I'm pretty sure Sack put these up, right? I can't remember 100%, but it seems like something that Sack would share on the workshop. Oh, these are yours? My bad. I apologize. These are all yours? These are lovely. So, Morgana, one thing you can do is try out Dungeon Alchemist through our demo. It gives you access to the forest biome, and then you can build a tavern. The demo's free, and that's a good way to see how it runs on your computer before you invest any money in it. But dang, Random Ladybird, sorry there. My apologies. These are beautiful, though. You did great work. Honestly, I had these kind of blocks as a kid. I remember them. My cousins had them, I had them, my grandma had them, so we'd play with them all the time. We had them with trains and cars. Unfortunately, snapping is hard to do with these kind of assets you upload to the workshop. There are objects that you can set to give snappable properties, but unfortunately, they probably wouldn't snap together kind of like pipes or stock objects do. It's absolutely stunning. I do feel like I know the kind of pain you had putting these all together and making it look just right. With my hammer railway. This is beautiful, though. Fantastic work, Random Ladybird. Fortunately, we got to move on to the next map. Hi, kitty. Nobuito helped you out with the engine and the rendering? Nice. He's got some skill. You both do. Fantastic work. I love all the snails. And then also the little roly-polies. That's what we call them in the US. I don't know what you call them. But they like roll up into a little ball, right? Like a little armored ball. Kind of like an armadillo, but it's a bug. No, right? Yeah, she's fantastic. Well-deserved applause. This is a beautiful map. The toilet's a little confusing. Some roll up, but that one doesn't. Oh, gotcha. Is it some sort of like woodlouse or something? What is it? What kind of bug is it? Ah, it's your childhood house. So this was your childhood garden, huh? That you rebuilt? Cool. Cool. Lovely work. Oh, did someone say something on YouTube? I didn't get the message. This is the best making software I've ever seen and used. Thank you, Iplio. Or Riplio. Appreciate it. We already looked at Inani's map, so we're going to move on to Lord Rev's. This one is a great example of forced perspective, which we get a lot of questions about. Morgana, if you give me a minute after the dam challenge is done, after we're done showcasing all these entries, which there's like, 6 or 7 more, then I will show you a few beach and like island maps. Does that sound cool? I don't know if you'll be around that long, but I hope so. Thank you, Atlam. I actually did notice your message after the fact. I kind of want to refresh the chat, the multi-stream chat, which I'm doing right now. That fixed. Sometimes the other stream platforms come through and sometimes they don't. Okay. Someone type something on YouTube and Twitch and TikTok, if there's anyone there on all those platforms. Something. Oh, Mondu. By the way, I'm glad to have you back, my friend, and now that your chair is fixed. General Kenobi. Ripley, a lot's changed in the last few years for sure. I mean, I started with Dungeon Alchemist right after it launched into early access on Steam, like just a few months after, right? And just like days, like a week before our Abandoned Ruins update launched, I joined the team, and that week made the trailer. Like, it was a crazy week for me joining the team and making a trailer. I felt so stressed. I was so worried that I'd like lose my job. Anyway, so did that, and like the game is Dungeon Alchemist, the tool as a utility and like what it can do and how it's scaled. It's so crazy the things it can do. Multi-level roofing, like this here is these are tiny little objects from the workshop that have been scaled down. It's like a whole village in a single thing to save time, and this is great if you need like just regional or like, world maps. You don't have to have it to scale because no one's going to go to all these buildings. You just need a world map for travel or to reference points of interest, right? So this is another great example of something that can be done with Dungeon Alchemist because of this feature right here, the collision toggle. Thank you, Mandu. But the collision toggle is another thing we've added in the last few years. It's a great, it's been like an arms race in map making, all the stuff we've added over the last few years. But this allows you to merge objects together, raise and lower objects, and make them super small or super large. You can resize them far beyond or below their constraints, normal constraints, if you disable collisions. So, essentially, the tool has evolved so much in the last few years. The Steam Workshop Edition's another thing you might be unfamiliar with. There's maps shared on Steam Workshop, over 14,000 of them available. These are anyone who owns a copy of Dungeon Alchemist can download these maps for free. Unfortunately, they're not available in our demo, but they are available in the full version. Matching to that are assets as well, 3D models. So people have added over almost 15,000 3D models to the workshop, which can change your maps extensively or add a lot of details that aren't available in Dungeon Alchemist. So for instance, these little pop-up villages that are a single thing, those are likely a Steam Workshop asset, which isn't a stock thing, and it's just something you download from our community shared work. It's a great tool. Saves a lot of time. Love this map, by the way, Rev. Sorry to kind of be talking about all the changes with DA, but I love when someone comes back to our community after a while and has been shocked to see like all the improvements and changes. It just goes to show how active our development team is and how interested they are in evolving Dungeon Alchemist around our community's needs and suggestions. Man, this is some roller coaster tycoon stuff here. Dang, Jim. That's crazy, right? Hey, Watchtower, how you doing? Glad to have you back. Also, really loved your gate map, your little watchtower map. If perfectly on the nose, if you will. I enjoyed the the little gate setup and like the little encampment, just like a little good checkpoint. Hey, you got to pay the toll to get through here, or hey, you got to pay taxes, or hey, you can't get through here if you are affiliated with XYZ. This map actually isn't even that large. It's 32 by 43. That isn't even that big of a map, Aku. That's like a standard size map. So this map uses what's called forced perspective. So it's tiny cities. These are like singular objects that are a bunch of different buildings and trees. And then they scaled them down to tiny. So essentially they're little just objects that can be scaled way up to a big city if you wanted them to quickly have here, let's disable collisions. Scale them way huge, the size of the entire map if you wanted it to be like a massive city, or you could scale them down and exactly as they are. Yeah, let's turn on the grid. Some of these are like an entire city block instead. Compared to our traditional room tool, that's like generating a full-size room with the room tool. So instead, these are objects, right? Which can be located on the Steam Workshop. But now that I've downloaded the map, I actually have them available. See these here? They're overworld streets. Overworld streets. Rev, are you here, bud? I don't know if he's here. Here, we could check and see who made them. Yeah, some of them are. These were made by SAC. Cool. I needed to know who built these. I hadn't really seen them before. Great little assortments, so they're great for like overworld patches. Yep. And there's like 3 pages of them, so you have all assortments. Oh, no, that first page is all there is. After that, it's just like lamps. So, anyone can download these, though. You can get on the workshop. There likely is even a collection of them. Collections are great because you just download all of the assets in a single go. Let's see. Nope, there's not an overworld collection, sadly. But anyone can make a collection of any assets or maps on the workshop. So if you're like, hey, I love all these overworld assets, you could put them in a singular collection that can be downloaded all in a single batch. Anyway, collections are great because, like, here, I like to search house, right? Tons of prefab houses. Home. So there's like all of these that have been uploaded that you can just download and use in a city, especially if you're doing tiny cities or forced perspective cities, or you could plug these in with your normal size Dungeon Alchemist buildings, have them next door as like placeholder buildings or buildings that aren't intended to be entered. If you have a party that doesn't really like, sneak their way into every building imaginable, then you can have a lot of homes that are like just filler in the village. Alrighty, but as you could see here, the centerpiece of this map is this railway that goes from town to town with like rail stations, goes up this hill. That's insane. That's a really cool connection there. Absolutely love this. Fantastic work, Rev. I wish you were here so we could ask you questions. No big deal, though. We're going to move on to the next. Let's see how. This one's by Sailor Yugoth. I've missed him around these parts. He hasn't been as around here as much. He used to enter the damn challenge share maps all the time. I think he's probably just been busy or had life, or maybe his campaign's on hold. But we're really glad to see him entering again. He makes some crazy maps. So here we have a flooded mine, and there is a train car made using objects. All objects. Dang. That's cool. This is like a kit bash of objects. Hey, Samurai. Yeah, there are. Honestly, all credit goes to our community. Like, these are all of the maps I've been sharing today on the stream were made by our community. These are all entries in a bi-weekly map making contest we host called the Dam Challenge. The current theme for the challenge was railway, and honestly, our community brought their A game for these maps. They are all really beautiful. And who couldn't use more railway maps, whether it's, like in a mine or a rail system in an overland map, or, a train stop in a small little city or village. Just cool stuff like that. Also, love me a good mine map. This is a great mine and could do some really good encounters with your players here. Scaffolding tucked into all the little nooks and crannies. You can see where it's flooded over. It was probably deeper, and you would work on these edges, but filled with water for some reason. Likely, they bore into a river or a lake above accidentally. That's happened numerous times in human history. So, I mean, that's happened many times in even modern history with drilling and mining. They've accidentally just bore too much reservoir. Yeah. They could have flooded it intentionally because they didn't want anyone to go down to those areas, or didn't want to deny people access to certain things. Could have been flooded during a battle. Any number of reasons. But accidental or intentional, it's cool. You see here, there's a cave-in. Could be part of the reason it flooded. Nice steel door there, sealing up all the caverns. This has got some Mines of Moria vibes to it, doesn't it? So do you play D&D inside of Dungeon Alchemist, Riplio? Samurai, what are you up to today? By the way, we are streaming on multiple platforms, a multi-stream, so we're live on Twitch, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, and Steam simultaneously. So if I say something and you're like, who is this guy talking to? I don't see them in chat. I'm not crazy. It's not the voices in my head. It's the voices on other channels. You know what? Did I shout out Night Wanderer when they followed earlier? I can't remember. If I didn't, Night Wanderer, thank you for the follow. Really love this flooded mine vibe. Is great. Check out this area back here. Like an old mining camp, probably. Maybe even a dwarven city. Ooh. I like that there's a secret cellar full of wine and treasure. Got a secret door there. Look at that. That looks really good. So you'd find the rated one with likely not much left. But if you got a good enough investigation or perception check, you might find the secret door. Man, I'm the guy in the party who always is hunting for loot and secret doors. And I want to swear. I was going to say I poop you not, okay? I crap you not. I honestly have found so much loot. Like hidden compartments, hidden doors, back ways around to bosses that give us like advantage and surprise in our attacks. And I'm always a good guy, and I always split it, even though I'm the one who found it. I'm not resentful, but I often get crap from my party because I spend a lot of time looking for stuff. But my character, that's like what he does. He loves to investigate and look for things, and looks for like things that seem out of place, or like, you know what I mean? This is a lovely map, Yugoth. I hope you get to see the VOD later. Fantastic build. Really love this. Did we get some more raiders? Holy sh... Vin fam, thank you so much. How are you doing? Much appreciated for the raid. Welcome, welcome. How was your stream? What were you streaming today? We right now are showcasing maps from our bi-weekly map making contest. Nice. Thank you for the raid. I appreciate it. So our map making contest is called the Dam Challenge, which is essentially just like we pick a theme, and our community members are given 2 weeks to build a map of any shape or size using that theme as inspiration. Oh, nice, nice, cool, cool. Man, I used to play a ton of wrestling games when I was like, a little bit younger. I even played them when my kid was growing up. He really liked them a lot. But I just haven't been too much into sports games the last few years, even wrestling or UFC or boxing games. I don't know why. They just don't grab my attention as much anymore. But man, I used to love wrestling games. Love them. I still have like some SNES and N64 wrestling games. I think maybe I just like, some days there's those things you love. Like you could love a food. You could eat it every day. And then one day you just like, I wouldn't say outgrew it, just kind of got, maybe like it's just something that just doesn't entertain you anymore. But honestly, watching wrestling is always entertaining. I love it. And at the same time, it also like it kind of drives me insane nowadays. I maybe I just kind of, I don't know what it is. Honestly, I'm going to stop critiquing it because I don't want you to feel bad. I think wrestling is awesome. Yeah, I guess that's the phrase I was looking for. Repetitive. That, and they release like a new one every year and it's not much change. I did have a different itch to scratch. I think because I've gotten more into D&D. Video games in general haven't been as appealing to me. Once in a while, I'll find one that can grab me, or if a friend wants to play, I'll play. But I think it's just video games in general. Like even this year, I tried to get into like Battlefield 6, and I played it for a few months, and then I just got burnt out on it. Played Helldivers a few months, tried that. It was okay. I still don't play it that much anymore. You can do that many in a with online now. That's cool. That's really cool. So did your stream go well? Did all your wildest dreams come true? I love this spoiler. This is epic. Sorry if I put my foot on my mouth there a little bit. That is a beautiful map, but we got to move on. Got a lot left to look at, so let's do it. Yeah, there's a lot to look at. It's easy to get lost, and I honestly am a sucker for cave and mine maps. Y'all know that, so I love cave and mine maps, so I honestly get lost in them. Nice. Tell me about it. Let's hear about it, FinFem. Dice Throne. I have not. Has anyone here heard of that? Has anyone heard of Dice Throne? I'm asking all chats right now. Would you like to know more? Tell us about it. Ooh. The last board game I bought was the Dune Battle Yahtzee. Cool. Was the Dune board game. like Dune Imperium or something like that. Like a board game with a bunch of cards. Oh, right, Riplio. It's always fun to add like little story behind the map and lore. Whenever I'm building a map, I definitely add lore and like kind of build up a background for the map as I go. I also love to add secret areas, you know, if the map is appropriate, like a secret hatch or like a you know, like a door, or you know, something tucked, like a secret drawer that something's hidden in it. I'll make a note of it in my, you know, my encounter plans for the room. So if someone does a high enough, you know, investigation or passive, or you know, perception or whatever, has high enough passive perception, they may notice it. So I bought the game to use it to play it, right, with my family. And then my son got injured and he was unable to like really sit for a while, for like long times, you know, like, so it was hard for him to sit for a long time. And by that I mean for more than a couple hours at a time for, you know, a few months. He was like this, and he healed up. He's fine now. But the thing is like after that we kind of forgot, like during that time we didn't want to play, because I wanted to play with him, and then we forgot, like, and then it's just been gathering dust on our game board shelf. So I need to like pull it out and like make the family play. The other thing too is my son watched me do the Monster Mash on the stream the other day, and now he wants to do a Monster Mash with me. It took me like 2 weeks to build my team. He's already starting to build his. So I'm like, oh crap, he's gonna kick my butt. So I was invited to a stream with a community member of ours named More D&D, who streams here on Twitch, and he streams on TikTok and YouTube. And I met him on Twitch actually, but he uses Dungeon Alchemist for his streams when he's making maps, or when he streams his weekly stream called the Monster Mash, where he gets himself and another content creator, or you know, someone in the D&D or you know, tabletop community to play. And essentially he had a team of monsters and I had a team of monsters, and we battled. And it was 6v6, and then people could contribute to the stream and summon like larger epic or legendary monsters we had on deck. Oh, excuse me. Bless me. Anyway, so the Monster Mash event was like a couple hours. It was like a timed event. Viewers could give us, you know, actions, extra actions, give us advantage, and trigger monsters that were like extra. Anyway, it was a cool battle. But now he wants to do one with me, my son does. So I'm like, yeah, let's do it. I mean, it's kind of a neat idea because it's like a one shot, but quick. You just get to battle, test monsters out, learn about them. Oh, nice, Morgana. Thank you. I wasn't sure at first that there was a Twitch stream, and I wasn't sure how that stuff worked. And so like I opened up all the streams after a few minutes and like was seeing how those interactions were coming in. I really appreciate the support. Huh. Man, ever since I sneezed, my eyes and nose are like right on the cusp of another one. I was grateful for those advantages. It was really fun using them. I gotta say, Highland Lass is so good at building a map that just like sucks you in. And by that I mean like I am like looking at everything. It looks like a cool, overgrown, like old, abandoned, you know, railway, which there's plenty of in the US. I watch a few channels of people who like on TikTok and YouTube will like make rail cars of their own to travel up and down these abandoned railways. And like every mile or so they have to cut a tree and fell over on the railway. So they bring chainsaws and saws with them so they can cut up these trees and clear the railway, which they're probably the only person who's been on it in like 100 years. But yeah, Highland Lass is so good at making it feel overgrown. Look at the buildup of the dirt on the rails. Some rails have, old wood on them, overgrown brush, rocks. Like, it just looks like a lot of decay over time, right? Did I not say Highland Lass the first time? I could have sworn I said Highland Lass's map. My bad if I said someone else's name. Ah, gotcha. But yeah, Highland Lass is really good at kind of terraforming and making the map look, aged or... Lovely, lovely build. And I'm noticing this is an older one. It's a legacy map, so she must have made this pre, Fun with Objects Part 1. Interesting. Alrighty. Fortunately, we don't have much time, so we're going to rush through these few maps here. Lombruin. Math Meow. That's great. McConaughey. I honestly, that's a great question. And it's kind of sort of based on your computer specs. The more powerful your computer, the larger a map you can make and run. But sometimes, like, it could be a small map and it could still tank performance if there's lots of like invisible lighting and animated assets and like third-party assets from the workshop. So performance is really just dictated by the strength of your computer. More powerful your machine, the better Dungeon Alchemist can run at any level, whether it's a small map or a large map, a very detailed map or a lightly detailed map. Yeah, I've seen 10 by 10 maps crawl on frames because people have filled them with so much content. But that said, I've also been able to load 200 by 250 by 250 maps with ease. So that is so cool. Is Lomberwin with us right now? Oh, thank you for the cat, Math Meow. McConaughey. Let's see here. You're thinking about getting it to make maps for Foundry. So some things you should know. Our maps are directly compatible with Foundry. So when you build a map in Dungeon Alchemist, if you generate the rooms with our room tool, all the walls, windows, doors and lighting are exported with the map automatically. So if you configure the export for Foundry, one moment. Foundry here. It will export, if it's a multi-level map, all the levels available, right? And you can actually pick and choose and only export the current layer if you want, or the current layer and the roof layer, or all layers in the roof layer. You could export all layers at once, or just one layer at a time if you want, right? But anyway, the point is these are exported if you set it for Foundry with Foundry in mind. So you can export it as an image or a looped video. And the looped videos include like the swaying of the trees, animation of fire, any animated assets you add to the map. But it will include lighting, windows, walls, doors, all that stuff already. So it saves you a tremendous amount of time. One thing I recommend doing is we have a demo on Steam, Matt, and you could try that out. Download it. It's free. It gives you access to our forest biome, which we're currently in, and the ability to build a tavern in that biome. The map can then be it can't be saved, but it can be exported. Yeah, Alan, that's a good question. We need to start thinking of a new challenge theme. So we did railway this time, right? And we did garden the time before. I'd love to think of a theme. Remember, 1 to 2 words that inspire and invoke a lot of, emotion, but also inspiration, and can be used in a lot of different ways. We don't want to really kind of funnel it into a very specific focus that only gets like 1 or 2 styles of maps. Mathmount, you can find us on Steam. There's a link on our profile that goes to our website. And then also on our website is links to Steam and our official Discord and other places. Unfortunately, I can't drop a link in TikTok chat. They don't allow it. Put all the levels up so we can see. Ooh, I like the flat top kind of cabin housing. Very nice. Dungeon would be a cool one. Swedish cook. It's always nice to get some dungeons made. Gambling hall. Start getting all these suggestions down if you can. Let's do desert oasis. Interesting. Desert. Atlam, start compiling all of these if you can. Atlas, interesting. I really love this kind of like arch open areas for the. This kind of gives me that vibe of like Red Dead, where you have like the the rail stations where you can go inside or like through the windows talk to the guy. This is cool. Also, it's probably just like a storehouse in this case for the mine. You can see here they have like different areas, junctions for the different carts. What a wonderful map. I like this little fishing spot. You can see here there's a fishing pole. Kind of hard to see on the wood there. Got a bobber. Yeah, that's a nice little fishing spot. Am I alone in the idea that like I enjoy the act of fishing? I think it's very enjoyable. It's very relaxing. But I'm a catch and release person. I do not enjoy eating fish whatsoever. I have nothing against people who eat fish, but I enjoy getting out on a boat or sitting on a shoreline. I enjoy fishing. I enjoy canoeing. I enjoy being on a boat. I enjoy being on the ocean. But I do not enjoy eating fish or seafood, for that matter. Frozen tundra. Interesting. Remember, let's try and keep your suggestions to 1 per person. That way, when we get the list compiled, everyone has at least 1 suggestion on there. You enjoy the act of drinking while I'm fishing, so you're more there for the drinking, and then the fishing's just a distraction. No, I'm just kidding. Honestly, yeah, it's fun to go to the lake with your buds and crack a few beers. If you catch a fish, it's a bonus, right? Hey, Ripley, you taking off? I do like the desert suggestion, though. It's a good idea, Desert Oasis Village. So hopefully that's one that people vote on. Thank you for the suggestion. We'll see you later. We got to move on, unfortunately, to these next 3 maps because we don't have much time, and I want to showcase all of these before we move on to Q&A. And I know people are itching to ask me questions today. Keep making suggestions, though, if you haven't yet. Would love to get your ideas for our next dam challenge. So the current challenge was theme. Theme was railway. As you can see, we've been showcasing all these railway-based maps today. Absolute blast. Lots of beautiful maps. And these are all available on the workshop now. So if you just search Dam Challenge Railway or Railway, you'll likely find them. Oh, this one was fun. This one was a very fun map. I ran around on the rails on this one. So this one's Railway to Heaven instead of Stairway to Heaven. No stairway. But it's got some rails that you can check out and kind of follow in first person, like you're on a roller coaster. But it goes all the way up to the top. So this is a play on the very popular Led Zeppelin song, Stairway to Heaven, right? Oh, I ended up under the stage. Which the joke I made was no stairway is from, it's a joke from Wayne's World, which is, I guess, kind of really old movie now. I feel so old. Came out when I was a kid. And in the joke is Wayne and Garth, who are kind of buddies into rock. They go to a music store and they want to start a band, and they're looking at the guitars, and he grabs a guitar and he goes to play, and he plays like 3 notes of Stairway to Heaven. And then the owner of the shop was like, hey, whistles at him and points at a sign that says no stairway. Anyway. Atlam, can you start grabbing questions for Q&A too? Just start putting them together in a separate list. I guess another message. Okay, we got Underground, Gambling Hall, Desert Oasis. Hey, wasn't there a dungeon as well as a suggestion? I believe was one of them. Desert Oasis, Tribes, Abandoned Palace, Mad Lab, Frozen Tundra. But as you can see here, there is a concert up in heaven with a blimp. I thought this map was pretty cool. The railways alone had to have taken a while. Yep, it is a Zeppelin. You're right. Nope, I totally missed the mark by calling it a blimp. But blimps and Zeppelins are the same thing, technically. We got a Led Zeppelin up there. Man, I've got like all the old, like original Led Zeppelin records. But my Led Zeppelin #1 went missing, and I used to have this record player that was my mom's when she was a kid. It was like a big wooden one, flipped open and had like doors, and put in the record. Anyway, she asked for it back, when I was moving away from, where we lived. And I was like, oh, that's fine. But there were some records inside that I'd forgotten about. And one of them is that record, I think. Anyway, I have like for someone my age, a reasonable record collection. I was really into vinyl as a kid. I collected my dad's vinyl and took a bit of my mom's, and then got some from other family members, and then bought a bunch at record stores, secondhand stores. Oh man, I had a favorite CD that I ended up buying like 5 or 6 times because I'd either loan it to friends and forget about it, or it'd get too scratched, or it'd get broken. And I'm sure y'all remember like having like the CD visor thing, right? Those would eventually, the straps would wear out and then they'd like sag and fall out. I also have my CD binders. They're in my room here, actually, just to the side. I ended up ripping like all of my DVDs and CDs again recently just to back up my collection. Because disc rot is a thing, people. Your discs will slowly decay. So you need to, like, the data layer on the disc slowly decays. Some faster than others. There was a question that came up from Tropism a bit ago that's for our Q&A segment. So I just want to make sure it's taken note of. That's all. Greywind, fantastic on that one. Honestly, that's just fantastic. What was your favorite CD, Watchtower? Almost all modern forms of media will eventually decay and fall apart. Yes. Tapes will wear out inevitably. Hard drives. I mean, we live in a time where almost all of our records will be, if there was some sort of cataclysm, like in society fell, like our records would disappear and the ability to read them would disappear drastically, like within years. And we're in a time period where our mediums change so rapidly. We are also losing the ability to read our older mediums just within like a half a century. Within the last 100 years, we've changed from like 10 different mediums for music and a bunch of different mediums for like photography and things like that. Videos, like storage is yeah, it used to be like carved into rocks, right? And trees and like painted in caves. No, this one was fine, Chim. It worked. It took a while to download, but no, it opened quick. The light was a great option too for our community, but I honestly like opening the full versions when I can. That said, I can see the framing, so I'm going to just drop it to medium. But I mean, there's clay tablets that literally the oldest complaint in history is on clay tablets. Okay, the oldest art in known history for man is cave art, right? But like there is art from like 100 years ago that's missing and lost or destroyed because it was on paper or like a canvas. I'm just saying, like, some mediums are like destined to last a lot longer than others. I mean, in the last 60 years, computers have gone from like tape drives. Where are you going to find a tape drive based computer anymore unless you're like a collector? Then we went over to like, you know, obviously early HDDs, and oh, we have floppy disks, those big old floppies. Remember those big boys? Like, computers are barely anymore around that run that. Like, it's crazy to think that stuff just from like 50, 60 years ago, there's hardly any like terminals or that run and can access that or be maintained. I was just reading, yeah, there is, I was going to say that, Watchtower. I was just reading about that the other day about the crystal storage medium. That gives me a lot of hope because it stores a lot of data and it has a crazy longevity. Literally was about to talk about it when you said that. Some company is boasting like thousands of years and like tons of terabytes of data based on early testing. So back to this map. My favorite thing about this is that you based it on the Obajima, and the Obajima stuff is based on Ghibli. And in Ghibli, like cartoons and whatever, they do trains a lot, like because it's a big part of like the people who wrote it like rode on a lot of trains, growing up in their youth. And trains like helped industrialize and modernize Japan to an extreme degree. But anyway, the train cars that you designed were so adorable. First off, I loved how they were all each unique. And I loved the shapes. This just little round cuneiform tablet shape. Got like a fancy car at the front. Then of course like storage and the animal car at the back. And then the power lines. Sorry, I watch like a Ghibli film every month at least. Uh-oh, where'd that power line go? And it just does give these vibes for sure. What do the young kids say? Giving. It's giving. Giving Ghibli vibes. You learned how to do what? This room right here, though, like the vaulted ceiling is so stunning. The power lines. Nice. Glad you can learn something at every stream. But this right here is a vibe. Let's drop a token in there. We'll check through the icon. People are always like, you can't do tall ceilings or vaulted. Yes, you can. Just delete the floors in the rooms above or generate them without floors. This is beautiful. Let's start voting on themes. So all the themes that Atlam shared in chat, I want you all to kind of vote on which one you want to be our next damn challenge theme. The one that gets the most votes will be picked. Oasis. Today is gonna be the... This train car is lovely. Such a vibe. Really well done. Now remember, y'all, if you saw a theme that you feel is really compelling, vote for it, even if you don't plan to enter. That way we can at least get some cohesion around a singular theme. And if I have to break the vote, I will. i.e. tiebreaker later on. Look at all this storage, all these safes. I like it. Safety deposit box room. Jim, you really went all out on this build. I was really impressed. The little underwater areas, the sunken areas. So I'm assuming there is a town or area in that book that you base this on. The sunken town is something. Hey, there's your sign. There's your sign. This little tavern here with the rooftop deck also. Absolutely wonderful. Under the sea. Under the sea. No, I mean, how many times has that happened in history? Many times. Like, I mean, quite literally it's happened. There's cities still today that are built on top of water when they should have abandoned it long ago. There's a record shop? Okay, hold on. I didn't notice that. Oh, I see the vinyl there. Cool. Got all the sody pops. Little snack shacks. Mini marts. And it looks like we've got Da Vinci's workshop here. Studio Ghibli lo-fi beats. Fantastic work, Jim. Really well done. Really well done. Okay, last map is Luminous. Another great build. Looked so like natural and overgrown. Affordable Dancing Ghost. I vote for Frozen Tundra. So I haven't gotten into that book. I just read about its like press release and stuff. I've seen it on the D&D Beyond site. I don't think I have access to it in any of the campaigns I'm in. I honestly have been considering snagging it for the misses because it'd be a great addition for our D&D library, but it's also like heavily inspired by Ghibli from what I understand. With like just a touch of Zelda mixed in. Did y'all see this earlier? Did anyone miss that I got a Hendrick now? I just wanted to make y'all jealous. But also remind you all that if you weren't here earlier, next week, next Saturday, we will be giving away another Hendrick doll. So if you want a chance to win, make sure you tune in to next Saturday's stream. So we announced that earlier on the stream, but I know some of you were not here then, so sharing that again. The devs commissioned a few of these through a very talented artist in Belgium who hand makes plushes. She put together the pattern and handmade this Hendrick plush. I guess this one is just a little bit defective because his eyes are off-centered. One's eye is a little bit higher than the other. And I said I wanted him, and then he ended up being a number that I really love. So 21 is his number. I don't think the pattern's for sale. I don't think it is. But the thing is now we can get them made anytime we want, right? So essentially we have a few more of them made, and we're going to be giving them away over the coming months on stream, on social media, Discord, etc. So if you can't make it to next Saturday's stream, there'll be more. Anyway. Affordable Dancing Ghost, thank you for the follow. And Miguel Renart, thank you for the like over on Facebook. So at a glance, this map, not that big. But what you look at is all of the flora. There is tons and tons of flowers and grass and trees, all hand-placed, which Luminous did a great job on. As you can see, there's some overgrowth on this cart here. Again, hand-placed. I love the collapsed mine shaft. Man, I wish we had the decal tool because you could add rust to stuff like this. Wouldn't that be cool? We also just need a rusted variant of this cart. But that would be... It looks so good, though. And as you can tell, it looks like a place where a lot of, like, mine carts would come in and switch around and move around each other. Load up with, you know, ore or whatever, gems, whatever they're mining, and then take in equipment, right? I love this switching system here because you have tons of room to, like, overfill carts. Like, there could be a bunch of empty carts on this rail and then the others ready to go in at any time. These rocks here, looks like you put them in all by hand as well, which gives that a beautiful craggy look. How long did you put into this map, Luminous? Ooh. Overgrown campfire. Barely could even see it. Didn't even notice it on my first pass. The shed and the tent back here. Everything covered in algae or, you know, weeds and ivy. There is a plush Hendrik dungeon asset. I know there is. Hold on. Well, I know I have an asset on the workshop that is that. Look. I could have sworn I had him in my collection. There, Hendrik plushie. This is available for the workshop for everyone. We tried to do a like a Hendrik plush. There's like that website that allows you to do campaigns, and if you get enough people to support the campaign, then they make plushes and ship them out to you. We tried to do that, but we didn't get enough interest, so it was tabled, and then Wim found a lady who makes them custom. But yeah, there is this already available. Anyone can go download this from the workshop. Just search Hendrik plushie. There's a few Hendriks on the workshop. A couple that I uploaded when we first started the workshop. Mrs. Mac made them. But that particular plushie was made by one of our team artists, and then I uploaded it when we did that. Makeship is what it was called. Anyway. Luminous, dude. Fantastic build. Lovely, lovely design. Love the overgrowth. And it just looks like this place is slowly being taken back by nature. It's in the beginning stages of it, you know, probably in the first 5 to 10 years. Oh, there's a sub-level. You know what? I am so sorry. I did not even realize. Ooh. Little cave in back here, huh? The poor miner and the gold veins. I didn't even know this was here, brother. I am so sorry. Doesn't look like there's a basement over here. But you can see the cave when you do that, which is really cool. That is clever, actually. It's impressive. You know, I have a map that I've built a couple of times and I've shared on the workshop with similar kind of situation. The Dwarven Prospector's Mine, and on them there's several corpses, and it tells a story of like a whole bunch of brothers that died in the mine. And you know what I mean? They were all prospecting different areas, some as teams, some as solo. Anyway, I love that. You said there's graves up above? Yeah, there's some. Oh my gosh, more bodies. I didn't notice the grave sites. No, that was definitely some work there. Here, one other impressive aspect of it is you could get in there with like a token, right? And then it's all sealed so you could see it from the inside. Ooh, the roots growing down. Really cool. Great work, Luminous. Great work. Beautiful map. Great for an encounter. Players heard of an abandoned or a gold mine up in the hills that the prospector hasn't been home or hasn't been back in a long time, so people suspect foul play. Something like that. Yeah, I saw the this here. I said I could barely see it earlier. There's a wagon over here. Nice, dude. Good job. Plague Doctor's Brew. Alrighty. Let's go on to DA Q&A. It took a little bit longer to cover all the entries in the Dam Challenge, but I was so happy and honored to showcase all the entries. Had a lot of fun. I mean, so many amazing maps. Can I just say, if anybody that is here present that shared a map on the in this Dam Challenge, can you just take your hand like this, pat yourself on the back? Great job. You deserve the praise and more. Thank you for building the maps and putting the time into them, submitting them, putting yourself out there, and of course, sharing the work on the workshop for all to enjoy. Remember, all these maps that we showcased today are available for anyone who owns a copy of Dungeon Alchemist on the Steam Workshop. You can download them by searching Dam Challenge and then just put Railway, or just search Railway and sort by most recent. You're bound to find them. Anyway, what I think I'll do is I'll pull up the winning map, and we'll leave that up as our backdrop as we do Q&A. So, what was that first question from Tropism again? Can you send that to me really quickly, Atlam? Got it. By the way, if Dungeon Alchemist ever says it's crashed and to like close or wait, just click wait. Sometimes Windows thinks it's crashed when it's taking longer to load or it's cycling the RAM, and it isn't crashing. I'm wondering if we need to try and prevent that error from popping up when it's taking a while to load, or maybe have our own come up to like compensate if people mess around it. Your engine is a token. Okay. honestly, I'm just kind of leaving this up as a backdrop while we answer questions. So, I have a map, and I'm going to run it as in DA as the VTT. When we can group objects, can I group a token on, say, a train or a boat so they can use the icon to see? That's a good question. I don't know. Tokens, while they are objects, still are fundamentally slightly different than objects. They have their own menu. The icon is, kind of exclusive to them. By the icon, I mean the eyeball icon to go into first person. So it is something that I'll have to ask the devs because I am not 100%. What I think... I left my pencil sharpener out in the... One of them is broken. I like writing in pencil when I take notes. Just something like a habit I picked up in school. Can't seem to break. Anyway, so obviously we're working on grouping objects. We're working on that because we want to be able to allow you to build a ship using the ship builder, modular assets, and then group them, right? And all the objects inside of them, and the ship moves as a whole. I'm hoping that would include tokens. That being said, tokens movement and vision is an independent thing from tokens themselves too. So I don't know if you've noticed that, like, when you go into first person, sometimes when you leave it, it actually goes back to where your token was before. Like if you're too close to a wall. Basically, 3 things happen when you go into first person. Your token stays there, and then you go into first person and you move in a separated instance of DA, a secondary instance of DA. So there's DA running and then a first person instance running, right? And when you move and go to another location, okay, that essentially, if you are in a location where a token can stand, when you exit, it'll teleport your token there. So essentially, token stays in the previous location, you move around in a separate instance, and then it teleports your token there. So unfortunately, I don't think it'll work the way you want. However, it's possible that now that it's something people are considering, and that's also part of the reason we're releasing the ship builder, hopefully in Fun with Objects Part 2, instead of High Seas, so we can start finding these niche use cases and working out the issues. But I would imagine, Tropism, that right off the bat, it's something they haven't even considered, and it probably won't. But at a glance, I'd imagine we could link those things together so the object and token are linked, and they warp as a unit. Does that make sense? Another thing, Tropism, the tokens have a little bit of rubber banding to them, and they do that on purpose as to make them feel like they're being placed and moved, right? Like a token on a screen or a table. But if you go into settings and go to token, or I believe it. I swear, there's a setting. Maybe they disabled it. Oh, rotating tokens when moving them. This one right here under controls. You go to controls, so escape settings or file settings. Go to controls, and then you disable this rotate tokens when moving them thing. It'll move more like an object when you do this. Let me give you an example. Now, that said, if the wall's really slanted, it could definitely cause problems. Like if it's a really steep grade, some objects will try and skip up that grade, trying to figure out where they're supposed to sit on it, because there's thousands of tiny little flat surfaces or like for a token to be on. That's the same in like video games. Vertices has that, like a lot of vertices on edges or sharp edges have that problem. So they tend to put invisible walls in those places. So my tokens move like objects do at the moment. if you go into settings and you have this setting enabled, by default, usually it is enabled. Tokens do this little twist thing, right? Like it's a game piece on a board or in a video game. And they kind of snap into certain positions. Even when you hold control, they tend to pop into certain places. To de-snap them, it tends to fight you, right? So if you're in settings, oops. Disable it under controls, save it. Tokens still snap, but if you hold control, you can freely place them anywhere, and then you have to rotate them yourself. But they're so much easier to rotate now when you do that. That was an artistic choice that I don't necessarily agree with, but I understand why they did it. Okay. Any more questions for me, fam? You got questions related to Dungeon Alchemist, let me know. Looks like Frozen Tundra is the winner, which is fine with me. Man, I would have loved to see Gambling Hall. I like our group just hit level 8 in our campaign, right? And we're probably going to level up again soon. We've had instances where we leveled up in sessions back to back because we beat like a bonus boss or something, or so we got 2 milestones, or you know, we just were quick and did something the DM didn't anticipate and had a good strategy. And anyway, so if we level up again, that'd be great. If not, it'll be like 2 or 3 sessions, whatever. But our next level will hit level 9, which means we'll have a Bastion upgrade, which is going to be huge for us because we have 6 people in our party and we each get 2 special rooms in the Bastion and we have a conjoined Bastion. So we're going to have like everything at that level, which there's a teleportation circle tied to your base. So you can like teleport to places as long as you know the runes or the gate address of other teleportation circles. We can get a gambling hall, which my character is going to have because he's like the luck build and he loves to gamble, loves to play cards and dice. So I want to have a gambling den in our place. It'll be cool. I think I was going to make like a speakeasy gambling den hidden on the property. Anyway. You mean control for snapping? Random ladybird? Oh my goodness. So I've been sharing some pictures of like a workbench I've been building for my wife. A craft bench. Oh, who is Morgana still here? Morgana, are you still present? You might be lurking at this point. I know we were going to show you some island maps. I would love to discuss that with you at length now if you're still here. Morgana Gray. What we need to do is actually go find some. Let's look up this lighthouse and pirate cave. This one is a great example, and we'll look up some islands as well. Paging Morgana Gray. Are you still watching the stream? Morgana Gray. I see her in our viewers stuff, but she may be lurking or have stepped away. Sure. Well, Siri Voke, welcome to the stream. My name is Mac. I'm the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist, and this is the official Dungeon Alchemist channel. This is a great resource to find when you're new to Dungeon Alchemist. So our streams are first off an amazing resource because we host 2 of them a week. One of them is a stream where we kind of highlight our community and the things they do, their maps, their assets they share, various people in our community. Today we were showcasing maps from a contest we host called the Damn Challenge, which when you save a map in Dungeon Alchemist, it saves as our proprietary map file .dam. So we lean into that and have fun with it. Damn Challenge, Damn Show, stuff like that. But anyway, on Monday, our stream is Mapmaker Monday. I build a map live, answer questions throughout the whole stream in AMA format. So you could be there tuning in and ask questions all day while you're building and learn. Basically like having a class or a one-on-one tutor. Now, we also have our Discord, which is a, kind of like a 24/7 resource where myself, our devs, our art team, our moderators and community members, active community members, hang out, share resources, provide each other with support and guidance. You can see upcoming events such as streams and other things. We have social media where we share tips and tricks. We also have our YouTube channel where we have some, little short guides, tips and tricks, shorts of all kinds, showing you various features and stuff going back several years. And then we have our wiki, which is another great 24/7 resource. The wiki is a kind of living guide that gets slowly updated over time that has information related to all like the menus and, different tools and stuff in DA. But yeah, welcome to the stream. Glad to have you here. Basically, between, all the areas I cover, social media, Discord, streams, all of our, videos and, short form content, long form content, and our wiki are all great resources. Also, on Steam, we have a forum there. You can ask questions, whatnot. Anyway, glad to have you here. You'll definitely join the Discord. Great resource. And honestly, probably one of the best Discords you'll ever join. Hardly ever any drama or issues. I think the only issue we run into is pretty consistent for all public Discords, which is bots join our server and then DM people trying to commission them for stuff. So if that happens to you, reach out to me or a moderator and we'll ban them, okay? Happens once in a while, not all the time. But yeah, welcome to the stream. If you have any questions, right now, let me know. I'd be glad to show you in real time. Looks like the map froze. Gonna give it a second. This is a big map, if I recall. So, when did you get Dungeon Alchemist? And have you made any maps yet? Yes, correct. Actually, I forgot to bring that up. I'll be putting up a post later this week or later today in our Discord for the question thread for it. But next Saturday, so 1 week from today, our next Saturday stream, we have a special guest, the community manager of Fantasy Grounds, Bella Muerta, who essentially Fantasy Grounds, if you're unfamiliar, is a virtual tabletop program that is compatible with Dungeon Alchemist. So you make a map in Dungeon Alchemist, you export your map for your playstyle of choice. Some people print maps or take the digital file to a print shop. Some people use like a digital surface, like a projector or TV tabletop. And a lot of people nowadays, especially since the pandemic, play online using a virtual tabletop because you can play remotely with friends all over the world, or, play online if it's not convenient for people to meet up at a central location. Anyway, virtual tabletops like Foundry, Fantasy Grounds, Roll20 are great resources for running games because they manage inventory, dice rolls, HP, all the math and everything involved in the rules. But Fantasy Grounds is probably one of the longest running virtual tabletops on the market. They've been going like 20 years. A long time. They also have a store integrated into their virtual tabletop. And it allows you to essentially purchase content for various tabletop systems and directly import it into your games. But Fantasy Grounds is a tool that allows you to import maps, facilitate gameplay locally or online with ease. And I'm really excited to have Bella Muerta online with us. She, streams, and she's on Twitch. She pops into streams all the time. She's an active member of our Discord. But it's always nice to network with other communities and get to know them and their tools. So if you have questions about Fantasy Grounds and how it pertains to Dungeon Alchemist, make sure you add that to your calendar. Also, next week's stream, we will be doing the giveaway for the Hendrick plush. So if you're interested, next week's stream is going to be a absolute banger. Definitely add it to your calendar. Got it a few weeks back, haven't used it much. Nice. Well, welcome to the Damn Fam, as we like to say, or the Damn Nation, whatever. But we're glad to have you here. And honestly, glad that you chose Dungeon Alchemist for your map making needs, for your campaign. We have people of all makes, here, people from all sorts of backgrounds. But a vast majority of our community is, GMs, DMs who are wanting to make maps for their gameplay or run active game sessions, or maybe learning to DM or are long-time DMs. So it's a great community to kind of network in and learn from, and also bounce ideas off of. Love our community. I swear our Discord alone has like over 10,000 years of combined DM experience in it. So it's like you have a lot of people's ideas who, you can, or people who you can bounce ideas off of and get advice from. This map is a wonderful example of a map on a shore. Morgana Gray, I'm doing this just now just so you get to see these maps, just in case, because you were asking about them earlier. I will say this was done a lot of it by hand. Many of these rocks are objects, so they're essentially something that you just move into place using the object tool, which you would, and to get this level of detail, you'd want to disable collisions, which gives you three things. It allows you to merge objects together, making new, unique rock outcroppings by kind of overlaying them together. It allows you to oversize or undersize objects far below, above and below their normal constraints. And it allows you to raise and lower objects. So when you disable collisions, this little arrow appears on the side of the object's UI. Otherwise, it's not there. So you can raise and lower that object on the Z-axis. And remember, you can always rotate objects, scale them, but having the unlocked scaling gives you a lot of versatility in how you place it. So they made like a custom mountain range here by merging objects together. Great example of a shoreline map. Yeah, they do mesh together really well, huh? But there's tons of examples of, islands. Here's a lighthouse. Here's a beach cabin. That's just a simple search for island. We could also do like beach. Plenty of beaches. So at the end of the day, Dungeon Alchemist, it's maybe not its priority to make a beach or build them or islands, but it can do it quite well. We don't have a biome dedicated to it, but it still manages to do it quite well. Anyway, I think we're going to wrap up the Q&A segment. Unless other questions have come in. Oh, what's the next room shape challenge? I didn't see that one. I haven't thought of one yet. Let me think on it a little bit. I honestly wrote it down last week, and I have a note for it, and I just forgot about it. So I'm going to highlight that note really quick. Put a little line under it. And I'll think of a shape. Because certain shapes are really easy, right? Some are a little bit more tricky. I would love to see like an S curved base shape. So it's like you could do like a curved road, or like an S curved based structure, like a wall that would be like a city wall. And I know those aren't as easy to do. It's possible, and I know Mondu and a few others have figured it out in the past. But it would be even cooler if there was like a more like updated approach to it, or a video. So basically, Mondu, you missed out on this. A few weeks ago, we were trying to figure out how to make a crescent moon-shaped building. So I threw up a challenge in chat, and I said, hey, anyone can figure this out, share it on Discord. And then I'll try and see if the devs can give you a custom item, right? And Anani and a few others like threw up a bunch of different cool ones. You did a quick attempt at that? Yeah, a few different people do. What I think I'm going to do is make an actual channel for it, okay? And then I'll give a challenge, and then people can submit theirs to. We'll probably set it up as like a forum, so we can have threads, right? That are all contained within each one. So we'll probably start containing them, and then that way people can learn from them. And then I can take those and make them into tutorial videos that we share on our official channels and stuff too, which is a win for everyone, all across the board. Question for y'all. Would y'all be upset if I cut the stream a little short today? So as I was saying a few moments ago, I've been working on this kind of craft bench for Mrs. Mac. She loves to draw. She loves to paint. She loves to sew. She loves to knit. She loves to all sorts of different crafts, right? She loves puzzles. She loves all sorts of things. But hey, Morgana, I'm glad. Hey, you're here. I was just looking at that map for your benefit. Literally just for you. Were you here when I was talking about it? But I am so sore from building this last part today. So I attached the last shelf, which has, it was on 4 hinges that lock and swing down and go into place this way or go up this way. And I had to lay on the ground for all of it. And I was laying on my creeper, my crawler thing for like rolling under cars or whatever. And it helped, but oh my goodness, I am so sore. Morgana, so this is a great example of like, of a shoreline. So I'm glad you heard that. I was saying it the last few minutes. I was hoping you were lurking or listening in the background. Wasn't sure if you were there. Let me pull up just one more, like an island, so you can see. But plenty of people will make island maps without like any worry at all, because you essentially can use the jungle canopy and almost any biome. This one's one of my favorite island maps. But yeah, ships, islands, it will need some supplementation from the workshop, and at least until our next update or two. We have a ship builder coming out in our next update, Fun with Objects Part 2, which will launch before the end of the summer, hopefully. And it'll allow you to build modular ships. Here, one moment. Then the more ships and islands and shoreline will come in the High Seas update. Stand by. So this is the kind of a preview of the shipbuilder. well, not building ships, but these are all different sections. Imagine like a big section of ship was just snapped into another one like this. And there's multiple different styles and sizes. Well, I saw Chim ask the question, and then I responded before Atlam could see it and do anything. But yeah, let's look at this map now that it's loaded here. So this map is just essentially they took a normal map, like you could go to File, New, any biome, right? Forest, jungle, whatever, grassland, and then they generated it. Depending on the biome, some of them have jungle, some of them don't, right? But so like I think it's jungle has an island. Man, I could have sworn there was an island one in there. Am I crazy? Or is it water? Island. That's what it is. Man, I am so tired. Okay, grasslands, island. You could just set it like as an island option, generate it, and then you have all this water around it. You can then use that if you think that's deep enough, or you can darken it or even deepen it with the terrain tools. So you can take the terrain tools here, oops, and sink this down. That's all the way down, it looks like. Another trick to make this look darker that a lot of people use is using abstract objects. These are essentially blank slate objects that you can insert in your map and insert any color or image into. So here, I'll make it a solid black color and then just stretch this across the entire map. So now, oops, a little bit too big there. Down. That's what the turtle is too, by the way. So the turtle is just an image that was stretched across the map to make it look like it's on top of a turtle. Do that, it makes the water seem a lot deeper. Pretty cool. Great example, though. So there's hundreds of beach, island, shoreline, harbor, stuff maps on the workshop, even though we don't necessarily have like a dedicated shoreline or beach biome. Anyway, hope that answers your questions, Morgana. I wanted to make sure we got you all squared away. Glad to have you here. It's always great to bring new people over from other streams, other communities. Here, while we're looking at ships again, we'll look at these so everyone gets to see them. These are some gun ports. Isn't that cool? There is obviously sails, different levels, below deck, above deck, and a bunch of different modular pieces you can put together. There will also be like liveries. There's a burnt ship that I've seen. I don't know if it'll make it different color paints, stuff like that. Here's kind of a basic ship. But in order to get ships working properly, we need object grouping to work properly. And that's something the devs are working on right now, which Carl said he's hoping to have a build ready for me soon that I'll be able to play around with, which will have object rotation and object grouping in it, meaning I'll be able to make teasers and showcase those on the stream soon. Yeah, the ship is like the burnt room, so all of the wood is burnt to a crisp, and then you just add fire to it, like an effect or whatever. Right? Mondu knows. Giving me early access just means that I'll find bugs or inevitably break the build. Because it has happened once at least. I delayed an update by like 4 months because I found bugs. So that workbench, been working on it. It's done basically. All that's left is some minor touch-up work, some paint, because some things got like scuffed and scratched in the final build work. And then it's already in the house. We were able to get it in, rolled it right in the front door. We have a little ramp we put up because our front door has like a step to get in. When my wife was sick, we got a wheelchair ramp because she was on a wheelchair a lot. And we used that, rolled it right inside. It was great. So it's in the front room ready to go. It has a drafting table part that folds up like this so she can like draw on it and it'll be like folded up in front of her. She can paint. It has 2 other sides On the other sides of it, they lift up like a desk to store stuff. And then on the back side is a surface that's like as big as those three combined that can lift up to extend it and double it. And then it stores 4 totes, and it has a place for her to store a chair so she can, like, you know, sit under it like a desk. And it rolls around so she can tuck it up against the wall or put it in the middle of her room, whatever. I'm excited. I'll share some pictures of it later today in the Discord. Anyway, thank you everyone for joining today. I'm going to wrap up the stream about 15 minutes early. That way I don't have to sit anymore because I'm in a lot of pain. And yeah, we covered pretty much everything. We had a lot of fun hanging out with y'all. Quick reminder, if you enjoyed the stream today and you want to make sure you catch future streams, make sure you hit that follow button. That way you don't miss us in the future. I highly recommend, you drop that follow. And I don't mean to beg, but I know we got some new viewers in here today who may not already be following us. So make sure you hit that follow, and then you can find us in the future easily. If you are following, you get notifications from the platform, whether it's a subscribe or a follow. Yeah, reminder, next Saturday, Dungeon Alchemist Mapmaking Show. We will have special guest Bella Muerta from the Fantasy Grounds team. And also, we will be giving away a 100 plush. I will be announcing it in the Discord and on social media. So, make sure you tune into the stream so you have a good chance of winning. Anyway, and yeah, tune into our Discord in the off-topic section if you want to see those tables, the table images. I'll share the progress that we have now so you can kind of see what's going on with it. Maybe a video eventually, too. Anyway, thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Again, my name is Mac, the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist. Dungeon Alchemist is available on Steam. We offer a free demo where you can try before you buy. It's a map-making tool that allows you to build maps for your fantasy-based tabletop campaigns set in, settings such as D&D or Pathfinder. Also, just a fun map-making tool. It's kind of like Sims meets Baldur's Gate. Great tool to just kind of unwind, relax, and challenge your mind to do cool, builds. And anyway, it's fun. I enjoy it a lot, even when I have no purpose for the map. That said, the vast majority of people using Dungeon Alchemist use it as a tool for their session preps, for their, D&D or other tabletop campaigns. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. I'm going to run a quick Dungeon Alchemist themed ad, and then the stream will be over. Appreciate each and every one of you that attended today, whether it's your first stream or your 50th, whether you're actively chatting or lurking. Thank you for attending. I hope you learned something new today and enjoyed the Damn Challenge segment. So many amazing maps to share during that segment today. Otherwise, though, mods, thank you for being here. Atlam, absolute trooper today. Appreciate you so very, very much. Thank you for gathering all the data for the Damn Challenge. In fact, let me update that before we end. It was Frozen Tundra, right? So Frozen Tundra was our winner. So using Frozen Tundra as inspiration, build a map of any shape or size and submit that to the Damn Challenge channel before the end of day, May 1st, Friday, May 1st at 11:59 p.m. So whatever your time zone is, make sure you submit it before midnight in your time zone that day. There are some rules pinned at the top of the channel. Those must be followed in order to qualify. And of course, you got to submit before the deadline. As long as you submit before the deadline and follow the rules, your entry is submitted and you have a chance to be the winner of the Damn Challenge, which means your map is the first map featured on the Damn Challenge segment of the stream. Your map is featured in our weekly newsletter, the Cartomancer Chronicles, which you can see at the top of Dungeon Alchemist every week, where you can go back and look at archives of them going back several years. And then lastly, you win a prize, a $10 Hero Forge gift card, which is great because we have Hero Forge integration, meaning you can make a token on Hero Forge purchase it on us and import it into Dungeon Alchemist. Typically, if they have a sale from Hero Forge, that even means you can get like more tokens, probably 2, maybe 3, depending on the sale. So great way to get you 1 to 3 tokens, depending on time of year and sales, and great way to kind of flex your map maker muscle on the community and show off your skills and push yourself to the limit. See what you can do and put yourself out there as a content creator and map maker. Anyway, thank you everyone for attending. I'm going to run that quick ad and we're going to wrap up the stream. Let's see here. Should I do wobbling or curves today? Let's do curves.
But can it handle curves?
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 Dungeon Alchemist, the AI-powered map-making application for role-playing games, now comes with both round and diagonal walls. Create amazing professional maps for your players in seconds. Get it now on the Steam store.